Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 2024 and the Port Vale save. Now today we are looking at part 12 and this is the last friendly, but I've left it on this page and I just wanted to update you quickly with Ethan Chislett. Now if you remember when we did the points here, Ethan Chislett was only a competent in MR. Well, since then, you can see that he's now improved that to an accomplished position. And as we know, he's very busy on the pitch. So you can see that his points have gone from 334 up to 352 and now playing off accomplished. So he is our top rated in that position. And also I managed to find a player, Jake Cartwright, for a DL. I did find someone quite a lot better than this, but when you look on the DL, that player that I found was 23 years of age. Well, he could not have fitted into the senior squad and he couldn't have fitted into the under 21, so I had to leave him. He was on 358. Wanted about, I think it was 1,100 a week, but we wouldn't be able to have accommodated him in the senior position. So unfortunately, it wasn't worth getting him. So Jake Cartwright isn't the best, but again, we just need to fill these spaces. And I think that's going to be the last player that we really need to look at. The goalkeepers seem fine. As I say, Luke Vale hasn't gone yet. The DL, that's the one we've just filled. That was Jake Cartwright. That's if he comes, of course. Then we seem to be okay on the DC front. The DR seem to be okay, especially when Callum Sullivan is back. Then we move on to the left midfield. We have four here, as I say, not the best these three we've got, but Connor Grant will fill that space when he comes back. And let's have a look at Connor Grant, because he was another one who was only competent in that position. So let's just see whether he has improved as a player from that. And yes, look, you can see that he's an accomplished ML. So we can move him into that position now. And that tells me on 390, he is one player that we do need to keep. So I'm happy to see that in Connor Grant. Need to get over this injury. And then the MCs, we have four there that are pretty much okay. And two of those on loan are improving. And we have Reese Waters that perhaps will be able to rotate with the other four. I don't know whether I should look for another one, but don't forget we've got Tom Conlon due back at some point. And if we just look at Tom Conlon, which I think I may have put him in the under 18s as he's injured. Yeah, it still could be up to 3 months that. But I think we're okay. Maybe I needed another one from that position. But there's Jake Cartwright. Just tap in over here. Let's move that to an MC. See what we can try and achieve there. I'm sure I've got a maximum of 40,000 in there, and we're getting players come up here worth over $1 million. There's something not right with this game. Let's clear everything, and then just put in position of MC for now. need to get somebody up to the age of 20 because, again, they need to fit into that position and not become a senior player. Corners, I would like to get someone that's at least 8. And again, I suppose I didn't take it off this time, but the transfer value needs to be at most, I would say, around 40,000. Right, yep, that's done it that time. So let's just put these in order. There's not many to look through, so, and he's injured anyway for the next 7 months, so that wouldn't be of any interest. And there's a few here, no one of excitement, but if I got anybody, I think I would try and get someone that's maybe a free agent. Billy Brooks, I've had him in lower league, not a bad player. I think he comes up at about the best. Let's just add them up in my head. Maybe 323 added up there is not going to be worth taking. So yeah, maybe I won't rush into that. Maybe I'll just leave that for now. Let's forward the game on. Andrew Boer is going out on loan. This is what I said to you of trying to get back. He is £220. And Andrew Boer there. Just put him into yellow. And that's what you do if you need the money as what badly as we do, I suppose. And he's never going to play for us. So we will accept that offer. The bonus is to be decided. We just confirm those. We're approaching now 3 days before our last friendly at home to Carlisle United. And as you're aware, I normally give them a week's rest after that to get ready for the first league game. So a 2-2 draw at home to Shrewsbury Town. Yeah, it tells me we're most probably going to be looking maybe mid-table towards saving ourselves from relegation. That's what I'm hoping to do. Look at this. Another injury. Dan Jones out for a possible 2 months. And this is what I tell you. We've seen so much of this come up. I've just applied to get a new DL, and then suddenly one of our regular 2 gets injured, and the other one that I turned down, we could have taken him as well. Dan Jones out for 2 months. Now that player's not going to want to come. Oh, Jesus, that's a bit of a downer there. And if I put his name in, I think it was Will Coco or something like that. He's a free agent. And now if I was to say approach the sign, that should come up, Ed. Yeah, there we go. So he's not going to now want to join. So that's a bit of kick in the teeth for us there. So we're only back to 2 DLs, and I'll have to scout around maybe to find somebody else. And with only this friendly left and then a week before the first game, it's going to be difficult because we're going to need to play this game first. And if Jake Cartwright doesn't sign quickly, then we're going to struggle to find somebody else to take his place. So we're now on the day of the friendly, and wow, Jake Cartwright is on his way and accepts. So this should be another one that comes up in brown, telling us he's not good enough. Let's see what the backroom staff. Yep, there we go. Another player that isn't like let down by his signing and unsure he'll ever be good enough. We know that. We understand that. But he will move to the senior squad and he will be on the bench for the first game. I mean, I don't make him that bad a player, to be honest. And these are the problems when you get these not long-term injuries, but injuries where you don't have anybody good enough on the bench to cover these players. As I say, we just seem to be having injury after injury, and we haven't played that many friendlies, and no one's started and been on the pitch for 90 minutes every game. And I don't need to bother looking at him. I've put Jake Cartwright into the first team, but he's under 21 anyway. And let's go into tactics. And we'll see that everybody's in green here, bar Dan Jones. And are we getting anybody back? Let's hope. Connor Grant is still out. Josh Hines, I'm not sure what to do with him yet. I have got him training as an MR. We've still not got Gavin Massey back, still 1 to 2 days. And then we can see that James Plant is going to be back training tomorrow. And Callum Sullivan can actually start, but needs to be monitored. So he may get on today. And there's the luxury we have of Callum Sullivan, that he plays DRDL, and we could put him as a DL. So perhaps we don't need to go in and look for anybody else to take that position on as it stands. So let's have a look. We'll start off with goalkeepers. That's our usual there. Wickens in goal and Ripley on the bench. And don't forget the second string come on at half time, even though they was better in the last game, definitely. Now, Mitch Clark. He's our top man there. He's going to start. We do have Jason Lowe and Thomas Sang available. I'm just going to have a look at Thomas Sang because he was accomplished in this position, and I don't know what's happened to him since because I haven't really looked. But no, he hasn't improved on that position as yet. So what are we going to do with Callum Sullivan? I think he needs some game time. I'll leave Jake Cartwright on the bench. Mitch Clark will start. Yep, he's going to start, and I'm going to put coming on for the second half, as I say, short of fitness, we know that, and he will take Dan Jones' place in the second team. Starting in defence, we're going to have Kofi Barmer there on the left, and Leo Verhelge, he is the right defence central player. So those two will start. On the bench today, it's going to be Mason Smith even. And let me have a look at this other player that I got that we haven't utilised from the last match, because he had just played for his other clubs. That's him, Calum Cisse. So we're going to put him in instead of Jess Debra. It wasn't Cisse, it was Cassie. But we've got so many different players. Calum Cassie was the one that I moved into the second team. Then on the right of defence, we'll have Jason Lowe and Thomas Sang. That's not going to change from that position. Then we'll move into the left of midfield. We know we've got Tom Walker, and we've also got Lewis Beckett. So that's the starter, and that's the one on the bench. Ojo and Garrity will start in midfield, and Divine and our blaster will be on the bench, so that works as well. MR Chislett, who's definitely improving, will start. Ellis Taylor will be on the bench, and up front, Ikpeazu and Donnelly will start, and Thomas and Wilson will make the bench. And don't forget, we've got James Platt, or was it Plant? James Plant is still injured, so he wouldn't get a start anyway. But we do have a lot of loan players, and I don't know how I'm going to get round all this. I know we're only going to have half the amount of people on the bench, but I've got 5 loanees on the bench and 4 in the squad. I mean, I would love to be able to put 9 of those out in the first team, but don't know how we're going to get round that for the moment. So, we've submitted the team. We know who's playing, and the couple of changes we've got today is Caelan Casey will start the second half in defence central, and Callum Sullivan will come on as a DL in the second half. I knew I'd say that wrong, that's why I double checked. He will come on, he will come on as a DL, that's right, because he is a dual player in those 2 positions. Right, everybody seems to be happy, and if you look at them you can see why, because they're all included. And the match just about to start. Can we beat Carlisle United? Now, I've got these down, I think, in a similar grade to Shrewsbury Town. So I think if I was to get some kind of draw here, I'd be happy as well. I'll say the same things we said last time. It doesn't really matter what you say on this. It's only what they do on the pitch that counts. So we're underway, and let's watch these new players, as in Tom Walker again on the left-hand side of midfield. And with Carlisle United just coming up from League 2, I think they know how difficult it's going to be. Because in real life, if you looked at the league table at the moment, they do find themselves in bottom position of 24th. So not a lot of action to start the game off, but we have had one shot, and our possession is 52 to 48. So a corner to Carlisle here. And the header there goes wide. And that's going to be a goal kick to Port Vale. So halfway through the first half, and it's Port Vale 0, Carlisle United 0. And it's Carlisle United coming forward again, but Garrity intercepts. It's Ikpeazu coming forward. Chislett down the right. Is he going to get the cross? He does. And a header comes in, but it wasn't strong enough, and the keeper collects. At 2 shots to 3, corners 0-2, and now down in possession 58-42. Tells you this game has already swung into Carlisle's favour. But there's definitely not a lot of action. We've got nobody outstanding on the ratings here in the first half. So I think we're going to have to rely on our second string again, like we did in the last friendly. And it's a throw in to Carlisle. I'd rather not see a goal come in just before this close to half time. They've got the ball in. Wickens comes to collect, misses it, and Jack Armour has put Carlisle in front with a minute and a half left of the first half, and Wickens can basically blame that on himself. I think there. He's come for the ball, he's got it, he's dropped it, and Armour, just a couple of defenders close by, but it's in the back of the net, and Carlisle have taken the lead. But it's nothing more than they've deserved, really. 5 shots to 2, 5 corners to 0, and 58 possession to 42. So we're going to go in at half time, losing by a goal to 0. The whistle should be going pretty shortly. And there it goes. The half-time whistle goes. Port Vale 0, Carlisle United 1. So it's not the half that we wanted. We do need to improve. So let's see where we go here. Ikpeazu didn't seem to be too happy with what I've said there. But the second 11 are coming on. Connor Ripley takes place of George Wickens. Pretty much George Wickens' fault there, but I'm not going to put the blame on anybody from friendlies. And we've got 2 players coming in now for the first time. Callum Sullivan will start on DL, and Caelan Casey will start as a central defender. Lewis Beckett, again, we bought him in not long ago, is going to take over from the newly signed Tom Walker. And Alfie Devine and Oliver Arblaster will take the central midfield. Another loanee there, Ellis Taylor. Jewel again can play ML or MR. And Josh Taylor scored a couple of goals in the last friendly. He starts along with James Wilson. So we'll see what happens. We're going to go back out for the second half. And we're pretty much in the same position we were in the last friendly. We're going to have to come from behind again. And the second half begins and all the substitutes will come up in the centre of the screen. So early doors, it's a corner to Carlisle. And the ball comes across and it's headed over. And that's not the early start we wanted to see. We're getting whipped here. 2 shots to 7, no corners to 7, and 41% possession to Carlisle's 59. So this is an awful performance from Port Vale. Not what you want to see a week before the first match in League One. So Port Vale have the ball. Sullivan tries to get it right across to the right. And it's been intercepted and Carlisle come forward. We need to close that down. He gets a shot in. Gone over the bar. And Port Vale 0, Carlisle United 1. I'd like to say we could come back to 1-1 here, but the stats tell us otherwise. 3 shots to 8 now, 1 corner to 7, and 40% possession to Carlisle's 60. And it's a free kick to Carlisle, and miles over the bar, but it's taken a deflection, and it will be a corner. That's floated across, and this time Wickens holds comfortably. Well, no, I think Wickens, Ripley in the second half, I keep forgetting. So Ripley holds on to that well. That's an hour played now. And I think we're lucky only to be 1-0 down here. And a bad pass from Casey allows Carlisle to come forward again. I think they're running a few rings round us, to be honest. I'm not happy with this performance at all. And maybe they didn't need to shoot from that far out, but nothing came of it. So if we ended up getting beaten by 1-0, I couldn't complain, because the stats tell us I think we should be further down than this. So we're approaching 70 minutes, 20 minutes remain. We've done all our changes from the first half to the second half. So this team, what we've got out there now, is going to have to try and fight hard to come back. It's 3 shots to Carlisle's 10, 1 corner to Carlisle's 10, and 39 possession to Carlisle's 61%. So this is definitely by far our worst performance of the 7 friendlies. And how we're going to sort this out for the first game in the league, I don't really know at the moment. But I think we're lucky in a way we haven't gone further behind. And it's a free kick to Carlisle into the box. And it's cleared by Vale, but only as far as Guy again. And Carlisle, and was that offside? But he put the ball wide anyway. And it was offside. But they're quicker than us. Everything about them seems to be better at the moment. So into the last 10 minutes of the game. And here come Carlisle yet again, but they've given the ball away. This time to Sullivan, back to Ripley. See if we can come forward and get an equaliser. Casey. Good ball across to Sang. Sang can't do nothing with it. Gives it back to Casey. And it goes all the way back to Ripley. Smith. Our blaster back to Smith. Alfie Devine. It's that ball out left to Beckett. And Beckett with a good cross. The header's there, but the keeper's cute to that one. And that's not many chances we've had this half. And now we're coming forward again. Alfie Devine. Smith out to Beckett. Beckett back to Smith. Smith tries to lump the ball forward. And gets onto Ellis Taylor, who hits it first time on the volley, but into the side netting. And maybe that could be our last chance. We have still got 6 minutes to go. And it's Port Vale coming forward. Josh Thomas. Out to Callum Sullivan. Lewis Beckett. Down the left. Gives it back to Sullivan. Moving it forward now is Devine. And Devine doesn't get the cross first time. Does second time. Headed by our blaster. And the keeper gets that one. And to be fair, in the last 10 minutes, it's been Port Vale. We're not playing badly. We've made it now 8 shots to their 10, 5 corners to their 11, and the possession's still only at 41% to 59%. So that's looking about it now as we go into the 90th minute. There's only 1 minute to add on. I'm not sure if we're going to see anything in that 1 minute. So throw in to Carlisle. And they're just going to run the clock down there with about 20 seconds left. So as much as I think that was a poor friendly, the last 10 minutes, I think we played quite well. And it's another one that's hard to assess. But that's it. The whistle's gone for full time. It's Port Vale 0, Carlisle United 1. But there, just towards the end, I was a little bit happier with what I saw. But yeah, I was proud of the efforts in the end. So considering we didn't really play as well as we could, I think just to lose 1-0 at the end of it was respectable. And Carlisle grabbed deserved win. And I think they did really in the end. But again, I think our second string actually played better than our first. And our first league game is going to be away at Barnsley. Most teams I'm going to be looking at are going to say, oh, they're better than us. But Barnsley, normally from League One, make the playoffs or around there. So this is going to be a very hard game to start. So I will go again, perhaps, to look for another player. I'm not too sure if we've got enough players to start the season. But if we don't have, no one's going to get any friendlies in now. They're going to go straight to a game or the bench. So other than that, it's been quite an exciting time for the 7 friendlies. Shame to lose on the last game at home to Carlisle. But that's it for now. And then when you come back, we've got a week left. I'll see if I can look for anybody in that time. Otherwise, it's going to be the first match of the new League One season, and we're away at Barnsley. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next episode.